Hey, what's up, y'all? So, this is the second message that is a continuation of the first one that I made about black magic. This is the second part of the message, which will be about the signs that you may be a victim of dark magic. All right, so let's get started. So, the first thing is streak of bad luck. Now, everybody's going to have negative things that happen to them from time to time. Now, I'm not talking about, some isolated incidents that happen, from time to time. I'm talking about noticeable shit, okay? It literally feels like you have bad luck. And you know it's not a result of bad karma from doing fucked up shit to people. Basically, your life feels like, what the fuck? Like you are a poster child for what the fuck. If shit keeps happening to you to the point you start thinking you may be hexed, you probably are. It could be black magic. Like real talk, it could be black magic. I'm talking about like Final Destiny type shit, like, well, not that extreme, but it just seems like one thing after the other. Like you just don't get a break. It just like seems like nothing is going right. It could be certain areas of your life where it just seems like nothing goes right. Your love life is just shitty. You just can't meet the right people, or things just don't work out. You might meet somebody that's decent and the shit just don't work out for whatever reason, and you just can't figure out what the hell is going on. Or, it could be your finances. No matter what you do, it's like one problem after the other. Like your finances just going to shit, and it's like, what the fuck? Like what? It's noticeable, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. It's noticeable. I'm not talking about everybody goes through shit, right? We all go through shit, but I'm talking about noticeable to the point where you know that something's wrong. It's like there's no way in the world that this much fucked up shit could be happening to one person. And like I said, it's not bad karma. So that's one sign. You have a streak of bad luck. It could be in all areas of your life. It could be in certain areas of your life, but it is very noticeable. It might even be noticeable to other people. Like, damn, what the fuck? Like, damn, Other people might notice the shit. Like, damn, like, what the fuck going on with you? It's like, damn, one thing after the other. You know what I'm saying? So, streak of bad luck. That's one. The second thing is unusual things on your property. You might have unusual patches of dirt that don't resemble the dirt in your yard, especially if it looks like somebody placed dirt there and it doesn't look like it belongs there. It doesn't look like an animal dug up any dirt. And if you do have animals in your yard, it just doesn't look like, what it looks like if you have a pet, or you have animals that are in your backyard and they dig holes, like what it looks like, and it doesn't look like that. Or you have like dead animal carcasses or bones on your yard. Especially if it's an animal that's not typical in your area, or the animal appears to be cut into pieces and doesn't look like it was eaten by an animal. And you don't have carnivorous animals in your area. That's definitely a sign. But going back to that dirt, the reason why I said dirt is because sometimes people will put graveyard dirt on your property. Like if they're trying to do a death spell, or they're trying to end something in your life, either trying to end you or end some area of your life, your love life, your finances, like, whatever. They will put graveyard dirt on your property. So if you find any weird patches of dirt that don't resemble the dirt in your yard, and it doesn't look, it looks like somebody might have just placed dirt there, it may be some graveyard magic that somebody's trying to do on you, and they put graveyard dirt on your lawn. You could get it tested, but from what I hear, it's like hard to, decipher whether or not it's graveyard dirt or not. Unless they have like unless in the dirt it has like some type of, I don't know, tombstone residue or whatever. I don't know. Like something where they would be able to say like, oh yeah, this is definitely from a graveyard. But, that's something to look for, like, weird patches of dirt in your yard that don't resemble the dirt in your yard and don't look like, it's been dug up or anything. It just looks like somebody might have just thrown dirt on a certain area of your yard. And then I also was talking about the dead carcasses. Now, sometimes you may have, like, if you're like in my area, you have like different kind of animals, but in my area there's not really any carnivorous animals. There's not really any carnivorous animals. Like all the animals that be in my backyard, they be herbivores. Bunny rabbits, groundhogs. Sometimes I get even turkeys, around the fall and stuff, and be wild turkeys and stuff. And what else? Yeah, it's all herbivore animals, right? But if you see like animal bones on your property, and it doesn't look like it could be the animal bones like of animals that are in your area, or if you see dead animal carcasses and it looks like it's been chopped up, like it, or the carcasses that are on your property is not like any animals from your area, like any animals that are known to be around your area or whatever. It looked like something weird, like an animal that you've never seen. It could be somebody doing dark magic. They doing some old crazy animal sacrifice stuff, and they put it on your property. So that's definitely something to look out for. It looks like it's cut into pieces or whatever, the animal carcass. It doesn't look like it was eaten by an animal. And there's no carnivorous animals in your area that could have done this. It might be somebody, doing some dark magic on you, using the animal as part of the magic. You might have strange items left on your doorsteps or at your door. So, just something that if it looks weird, like it just doesn't look normal, then it may be something that someone is, doing against you through dark magic. Like I found at my doorsteps, like animal bones. I found like stale bread. Bread is supposed to be, sustenance and, life. It's supposed to sustain life and it's seen as a symbol of abundance, but it was like a piece of stale bread. So, what that means. Somebody didn't want me to have abundance or whatever. At first I thought it was just an animal bringing it. But I was like, that's weird for it to be right at my door, right in front of my door. I was like, I don't know. a lot of times I just thought it was, because I didn't think that anybody would be doing no weird stuff. You know what I mean? So I just kind of made excuses for it. I was thinking that it was, stuff like that was happening to me. I was thinking, oh, it was just, an animal. But then I was like, wait a minute, this animal, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I found on my property, it looked like a fucking sheep. Like, I don't know, like, it didn't have it was the torso of an animal, but the shit looked like a fucking sheep. Like, it didn't look like, it was huge. And I was like, what the hell kind of animal is, is that? It was right in my driveway. And I saw it, when I was coming home one morning rather. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't think about taking a picture or anything. I just didn't think that anybody would be doing no crazy shit like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave it out there. And, hopefully whatever animal did that will get it the next day. It will finish what it started. And, next day I went out there and it was nothing there. It was a bone. It was nothing but bone there. Like, whatever, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It was weird as shit. But, anyway, if you see some weird shit like that, it might be somebody crazy putting some shit on your property, trying to do some dark magic against you. So that's the second thing. Seeing unusual shit on your property. All right. The third thing, unexplained insects. Okay. So if your house is clean and you don't have like a bunch of food out, you don't have any produce out, because produce can produce gnats and stuff like that. But if you don't have shit sitting out, in your kitchen or whatever, you keep your house clean, and all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of flies and gnats, in your house, or just other strange insects that, come out of fucking literally come out of nowhere. And when I say literally come out of nowhere, I mean like literally come out of fucking nowhere. It's like, what the fuck? Now, there was a time when it was crazy. It was a whole bunch, I don't know what kind of flying insects these were. It was a whole bunch of flying insects inside a light fixture in the mudroom of my house. And they was flying all around in the mudroom. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was crazy. And I'm like, what? Out of fucking nowhere, I swear to God, out of nowhere. I didn't see the whole damn day. I didn't see shit. And then it was like probably around, what they call it, the witching hours and shit. Like when they be doing that fucking spell word, 12 midnight to 3 in the morning, whatever. And it was like literally out of fucking nowhere. It was a whole bunch of them. Like dozens of them inside a lighting fixture, flying around in the damn mudroom. And I was like, what the fuck? So I went ahead, I played these high frequencies, these frequencies that are supposed to be, I found on YouTube, these frequencies that are supposed to get rid of negative energy. So I played that shit, and I was calling on my ancestors to, get rid of whatever this is, and to, block the spell work. And, I just kept working with my ancestors, praying to them, asking them for help, and asking the divine for help, and to get this negative energy out of my home, And I just left it to the ancestors, and I left it to the divine. I said, y'all take care of this. Because whatever this is, it needs to go ASAP. These insects going to get the hell out of my house, and that energy is going to get the hell up out of my house. It's going to go back to where it came from. And I had went to bed, Next day, nothing. Nothing. There was no insect, no dead insects at all. It was nothing there. No insects was there. No dead insects at all. Nothing was there. It was absolutely nothing. So if you see a whole bunch of insects like out of fucking nowhere and there's no reason for them to be there, it's definitely some dark magic. Definitely some dark magic. So these next things that I'm going to mention could be linked to entity attachments and or possession. They could also be due to health issues, mental or emotional issues. So always seek professional help first, okay? I am not a professional. I do not take responsibility for your life. You take responsibility for your own. So if you have any of these symptoms that I'm about to mention, please go to a doctor first. You want to weigh all of the options. You don't want to just automatically assume that it's dark magic, because it could be other things. So please seek a professional first. Go to a doctor. Check for a physical explanation first. And after you've gotten all the first, second, third opinions or whatever, you've gotten tested or whatever, if that fails, then go to an experienced spiritual practitioner who is a light worker for assistance. That's something that you can always do. I go within. You know what I'm saying? I go within and I work with my ancestors, and that's been working for me. But if you feel, that you may need to do that, then go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? I am not against it. Do what you feel pretty much is best for you. But definitely go to check out the physical stuff first. Go to a doctor and see what's up, all right? So the next thing is unexplained illness or bodily issues. If you have a sudden illness or something happens to your body or pain that the doctors can't explain, you've had multiple tests done, and there's no logical reason for what you're experiencing, it's likely dark magic. Like I said, it could just be like, a pain in a certain part of your body, and you can't figure out why you're feeling this pain. So you go to a doctor, and you tell the doctor about it. They do all these tests, and they like, oh, well, you look physically fine. We don't see anything. You go to another doctor, they do tests, and you don't see anything. You go to another doctor, and then it's unexplainable. They can't find nothing. Then, it probably is some dark magic. Maybe somebody's messing with a voodoo doll or something. It could be. The next thing is behaving out of character. You may find yourself doing things that surprise you after doing it. You don't feel like you're in control of your own body. It may be an entity attachment that was sent to you, or even possession, especially if you don't remember doing things that others mention you did, and you wasn't under the influence of drugs and or alcohol when you did it. If this is the case, you need to get someone experienced in that line of work as soon as possible to get rid of it. Because spiritual possession, entity possession ain't no joke, okay? And depending on the entity, depends on how difficult it might be to get rid of it. And I will talk about in my next video, like how those type of things happen. How people can get entity attachments and or possessed by entity. But if you feel like you've gone to Again, you go to the physical first, go to a doctor, you know, maybe see a psychologist, you know, and go that route first. And then if that's not helping, if you don't see an improvement, that's not helping, then go to do the spiritual, you know, seek spiritual help from someone that's a light worker, because you got a lot of people that's out here doing stuff, you know, they're spiritual workers, but they not of the light, you know, they into dark shit. And so just make sure that you are working with somebody that's a light worker, that you know is of the divine. Okay, so the next thing is having sudden or strange addictions, or addictions period. These addictions sometimes can be tied to entities. So, you know, an entity can make you have an addiction, or, you know, you can even have an addiction that attracts entities or whatever, and then they feed off of that addiction, which causes you to want more of whatever that addiction is, and they feed off of that energy. But yeah, sudden or strange addictions can be a sign of dark magic. Like, you may have developed a taste for non-food items. Like me, like I had like this addiction, like I mentioned in the last video, the one on black magic. I had mentioned that I had an addiction to baking soda. Sometimes black magic can be sent to you to keep you bound to certain addictions, or have you revert back to addictions you had overcome. So, you know, let's say that you know that you have a certain addiction to something, and you have, you know, been working on freeing yourself from it, and somebody that you know that's doing black magic against you, that knows you and knows that you have that addiction, they can do black magic against you to cause you to revert back to those addictive behaviors. So let's say that you're a hermit like me. You keep to yourself. You don't talk to anyone. So there's no one that you can think of who would have access to any information about you. There are ways that people can get access to you that don't have physical access to you. They can do that spiritually. And one of the ways they can do that is through monitoring you through mirrors. Mirrors can be used as a monitoring device. I don't know how it's used, but I know that people can do that. And, you know, I've had an experience where I saw an imprint of a man's face on one of my mirrors, and I know no one broke into my home. I don't let anyone in my house. It's just me and my kids. So, you know, people don't come into my house unless it's somebody here to fix something. Okay? And I know wasn't no person, no contractor up in here putting his face on the mirror. So I knew that was some spiritual shit, okay? My daughter recently had an experience where she was looking in the mirror and she saw an evil image of herself, like in the horror movies, where it was some evil entity, you know, pretending to be her and projecting itself through the mirror. So mirrors can be used by people and by entities to spy on you, and they can also be used as portals to transport through spiritually. Let me see, another way that you can be monitored spiritually is through astral projection. You have people who know how to astral project, and they can astral project into your home without you knowing it and spy on you. So that is another way that someone can gain access to you physically without being around you physically. They do it spiritually through astral projection. They can also do it in the dream realm. You know, I've had instances where my enemies would be in my dreams, asking me questions, wanting to know stuff. You know, so they were operating as monitoring spirits in the dream realm, trying to gain access to information, wanting to know what was going on in my life. Okay? So that's another way. They can use animals. They can use insects, like with the insects I was talking about earlier that just magically appear in your home, and they just, you know, go ahead and just appear out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And they can be used as monitoring spirits. So I'm sure there's many other ways. I'm just talking about the ways that, you know, that I've experienced personally, of people and entities or whatever, using these different ways to monitor me. I had, and I'm still experiencing this, but I just keep kicking it out. You know, somebody trying to monitor me in the bathroom. My light will be blinking and stuff, and I know it's, you know, it's somebody else. It's not my spiritual family, my ancestors, because I ask them, you know, like, if it's you, blink, you know, let me know it's you. If it's not you, then get it out, and then it'll immediately stop blinking. And I know that my ancestors had kicked whatever the hell it was, or whoever the hell it was, out of my home. So, yeah, these are some ways that people and spirits can monitor you. So if you were doing fine, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get this addiction. Like, for example, I told you I had like that addiction to baking soda. And so, you know, I had stopped with the baking soda. I stopped even buying baking soda, you know, because I was trying to free myself from that. I was like, this is some weird ass shit. I ain't trying to, you know, doing this shit. And so, you know, I had like, this was a while ago, I had this urge for baking soda, like for no fucking apparent reason. I didn't have heartburn or anything. I just had a desire for it. And I was like, oh, y'all motherfuckers, I know y'all ain't trying to get me addicted to baking soda. Y'all trying to send me right back to the hospital. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. And so, you know, I recognized it. I recognized that that wasn't me, that was whoever was, you know, trying to get me hooked on the baking soda again. And, you know, I just rejected that thought. I was like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm not going that route again. So I just rejected the thought. I rejected the emotion, and I went ahead and distracted myself with something else, something positive, to keep my mind off of that, and it went away. But that's something that can happen when someone's doing, you know, dark magic against you. They can, you know, if they know that you have an addiction, they can send you desires, thoughts, you know, they send that energy to you to try to get you hooked on whatever it is. Again, the next thing is feeling fearful, paranoid, depressed, or any low vibrating emotion for no reason. I mean, for no reason. It literally comes out of nowhere. You're feeling fine, and suddenly you start feeling some negative emotion come over you. That's your enemies trying to project their emotions onto you. They're trying to make you feel a certain way. And you really need to know the difference between yourself and something that is outside of you. Just because a thought comes to your head doesn't mean it's your thoughts. Just because you feel an emotion doesn't mean it's yours. You have to understand that, people can send energies to you. So if you're feeling fine and you get a crazy thought in your head, know that that's not your thought. If you're feeling fine and all of a sudden you start feeling depressed or angry or whatever, know that's not you. If you know that you were feeling fine and all of a sudden you feel the opposite of that, that's not you. They're trying to make you feel that way. And you have to be able to recognize that so you can fight against it and reject it. Reject that energy, reject those thoughts and emotions. All right, so the next thing is feeling lethargic for no reason. Okay? You just feel tired for no reason. Like there's no reason for you to feel tired. You've gotten enough sleep. You're eating healthy. You're exercising. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do for your body to have energy, right? But you just feel tired all the time, and you don't know why. It could be dark magic. But then again, like I said earlier, you go to a doctor, make sure there's no imbalances. Just make sure everything's okay physically. You don't want to automatically assume any of these things that I'm saying is from dark magic. It could be physical reasons. I cannot stress that enough, okay? The next thing is persistent negative thoughts. If you're usually an optimistic person, you might be wondering why you're feeling this way. You might suddenly reminisce about a negative experience from your past out of the blue. You have to be self-aware so you can just distinguish your energy from somebody else's. You have to be aware, like I was saying before. Know the difference between how you're feeling, and the feeling that you just suddenly got. Know the difference between the thoughts that you normally think and some odd thoughts. You have to know yourself, know thyself, okay? So that you can be able to make these distinctions and recognize when someone's trying to infiltrate your mind and your emotions. So if you know that you were feeling fine and these thoughts came out of nowhere, it's likely that someone's projecting their own negative energy on you, thinking or speaking negative things about you, or wanting you to have these thoughts about yourself. Okay? But again, I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. Go to a professional first. Go to a doctor. Go see a psychologist or whatever. If you're feeling this way, don't assume that it's dark magic. Okay? Feeling like something is attached to you. I told you in my last video, one about black magic, that it felt like something was literally attached to my back. It felt like there was something gripping my spine. It was crazy. And I felt it all the time, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So it will actually feel like that. It will feel like something is attached to you, but you don't see anything. It just feels like something's there. You may feel it on your spine, the back of your neck, or anywhere on or in your body. So if you feel that, and again, you go to a doctor and you've gotten all the tests done and there's no physical reason for it, it may likely be dark magic, okay? So all of these things could be signs of black magic. But it is always a good idea to dot all your I's and cross all your T's before coming to assumptions. You have to use your discernment. When it comes to physical and mental issues, definitely get professional help first and go to a doctor. Get a second and even a third opinion. You just want to make sure you've exhausted all your options before coming to conclusions. That way you know for sure, okay? Just to let you know, all of these signs I mentioned are based on my own experiences, okay? There could be more signs that I am not aware of. Everything I share on this channel is based on my own experiences that I use to try to help others, okay? So now that we have gone over some of the signs of being attacked by dark magic, let's talk about how to break free from it. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. All right, so hopefully this helped, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.